Are you like me and you figure that this whole Ukraine-Russian crisis, this invasion, has been one of the hardest things in the world to figure out what is truth and what is fiction? I'm at the point now where I just don't even know what's truth as we're watching a cell phone war / TikTok war unfold before our eyes as we find out things like Fox News putting out Snake Island defenders who defied Russian warship captured alive are actually alive, not killed. What? As everyone, including myself, said things like this.
So their last words were, "This is it. Russian warship. Go F yourself." Put yourself in that position. You know you're going to die.
Go fuck yourself.
Go F yourself.
Those 13 men are dead. Those 13 men are dead. And they died heroes.
Fight!
And also stuff like this, like the photo of the ghost of Kiev. Look at this idiot who posted this. Oh wait, that's me. And then also this, shout out to President Zelensky turning out some of these photos where I had a nice emotional speech saying, okay, right here, that's the Ukrainian president. You would not see Joe Biden near the battle wear that much body at them. Talk about an epic fail. Turning out that some of those photos were actually from an old shoot back in the day as we're still trying to figure out what's truth as more and more soldiers and more news has been popping up on TikTok. Even there are people on TikTok putting out things of pretending that they're in a warlike scenario and turning out it's just a strobe light and a kid in a room saying, oh my God, they're here. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And then we have Ukrainian soldiers just dancing, and we're all trying to figure out what's truth as our corporate media is sitting on the back of every hotel room, it seems like, in all of Ukraine with a helmet and bulletproof vests on and not getting any wartime footage. And you might be saying to yourself, I don't know what's truth and what's fact, as Kamala Harris came out today and said,
and when folks vote, they order what they want, and in this case, they got what they asked for. I went off script a little bit.
We're getting exactly what we asked for because we're more concerned with the narrative and not actual information, as we have more liberals putting out pictures like Stephen King, I stand with Ukraine, as if he's like making some sort of stand that's different than anyone else. Like, who is rooting for Putin? Oh, probably the Chinese, and I don't know who else. Oh, maybe people that love Putin. But as we find out more and more today in 2020, the same people that are quote-unquote pro-Putin were called racist in 2020 and 2021 were called anti-vaxxer, and now in 2022 pro-Putin. And you might be asking yourself like me, what's the takeaway in this podcast, Derek? Because I am confused as you are, as we're trying to figure out what's truth and what's fact and what's fiction in this Ukraine war, because I'm getting fed up with it. And I think it's an important information that we need to have, right? Because there's a war going on and people are dying. Or are people not dying? I can't tell, because it seems like the only information I'm getting is from corporate media, again, on the balcony of a hotel room. And I'm asking myself, have you been outside that hotel room whatsoever to gain information? Because I don't see anybody doing on the field journalism, as opposed to Sean Penn apparently going around and starting a documentary. And the only information and videos that we're actually seeing is from people like me with a cell phone doing silly videos, or I've seen videos of a female getting into a tank and turning it on and going for a little joyride. It's hard to tell what is truth and what's fact and what's from old information. I've even seen an old video turning out to be a Palestinian little girl yelling at an Israeli soldier, and people were passing that along like it was a Ukraine thing. It's just been so hard to figure out what's truth and what's fact, and maybe you're like me and your emotions get wrapped up to this, where you have one of these kind of moments where you're like...
So their last words were, "This is it. Russian warship. Go F yourself."
And I was in the same boat where... emotional pleas and trying to figure out like, wow, that's one of the saddest, craziest stories I've ever heard. And the ghost of Kiev sound like the most exciting thing I've ever heard. And that's when it should have been a red flag in my brain and thought, maybe this isn't true. But it's hard to have a humanistic side, isn't it? During the times, especially warlike scenarios or just heightened emotional things where you want to believe the truth no matter what, because, well, people's lives are at stake. And so you have the emotional pull. And so when people get mad at that or make fun of that, it's hard to make fun of that because we're all humans in the end. So what's the freaking takeaway for me? It's for me to do better at vetting my information. I need to do better. I need to double check my sources, triple check. I constantly do that all the time, but I just need to get better even more, especially during some of these times. And when the narrative in my own head, the things I want to be true are the things that I think that are going to be true before I even read, I need to just do better at vetting myself. And maybe that's for you too. Like a good takeaway for you would be I need to vet my independent creators. I need to vet my information I get from them, and I need to compile it all together and come out with better facts for myself, because I don't want to be one of these people that just go along with the narrative because my emotions are in play. I don't want my emotions to take over what's truth, or what, as Joe Biden says, what is your truth is better than facts, or something like that. And for us, our takeaway, you and my takeaway for today, for this beautiful day, is that we need to not get caught up in the narrative, even if we pretend like we're not part of the narrative. That's just a liberal thing. I got caught up in the narrative when it came to this Ukraine, as opposed to not thinking that this war had any propaganda whatsoever. Of course there's going to be propaganda in a war. How silly. But just to be a reminder for you and for me, do better at this, because it's important for us to figure out what is facts over what our emotions tell us is true. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of The Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the revolution.